Welcome back to Sampstra Games, the place to find new strategy games, and welcome to another episode of Distant Worlds 2. We're playing with our Arcadian race, and we're here at Towers 5 of Timo, our very only colony of our Blue Zen Empire. I had a really hard time going through that. Now, this episode is going to be all about ship designs and the military, because the game, very early on, the game is going to give you pirates, and the pirates are really rough. So we want to make sure that we are prepared for it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to build a fleet. So we're going to add a brand new fleet. Now, Robert is the leader of my armies, the general, so after one of my patrons. And we're going to name his very first fleet Robert. Because that's the only sound that's going to be left of our enemies. The sounds of them dying. I couldn't come up with anything, but I'm sorry. I have a name for the second fleet, but I thought this was better. So we're going to set this fleet actually to be defensive, not offensive, because we're not strong enough to be offensive at the beginning. So you can set up the role to be defend, attack, raid, or invade, or neutral. Engagement rate is going to be same system, so the system of Towers 5. Fleet should win with enemy is over 100% stronger. We want to attack stance to be neutral, and the fleet ship role reassign. This means that the ship can reassign the roles within the fleet, so we'll leave that alone. We want to use move it in the same system. Attack stance against weaker targets is going to be aggressive. Against stronger targets is going to be neutral. Retreat when 20% of non-defense components damaged, and invade colonies when clear. We can currently only build escorts. We cannot build any of the better ships, so we're gonna set this up to have 8 escort ships because we've got lots of money, so we can afford it. So Robert, I think the name is so good. Gonna cost us 21,000 credits, and we're gonna build it at any construction yard in the Empire, so either at the ancient Arcadian spaceport or Towers 5 of Timo. And hopefully we'll get a new general soon, who I'm going to, of course, name Robert. So this is being set up, and if you look over here in the construction area, you can see that we have it, most of it is going to be building at the spaceport, but some of that can also be built at the Towers 5. We haven't really specified it had to be done here or there, and hopefully they should already be built with the... They will automatically be built with the warp drive, but they will not yet be built with this shield. So what we're researching right now is early energy deflectors, and this is, if you look at this, this is the research. And what it's giving me is, it's giving me a component called Deflection Shield generator. Now this is a component that can be applied to many different ships and mining stations and research stations that you can find. Now it unfortunately doesn't actually tell you like on what it can go, and that's because you can design your own ships. So if the game can't really tell you, like, but there are some restrictions, not everything can go on everything. But yeah, we'll be able to get this deflection shield, which will give me a shield strength of 144 on, actually it semi tells you it's like 144 on like the stations, and on a fighters it would give you a shield strength of 29, so that's going to be on our escorts and our attacking ships. So that's really important to keep in mind, and we'll be able to upgrade the ships and look at the design. I'm going to show it to you as soon as we build our very first escort, which is the first military ship. You'll be able to see that, but you will be able to get the shields on other things as well. We have a ship called Secretive Beggar, which is a freighter, merchant freighter, which I think is really funny. It's like a merchant freighter that moves the resources between our mining stations. So this is going to transporting cargo from Iplodor mining station to Towers 5 of Timo. So it's moving over here. It's going to grab some cargo and move it to Towers 5 over here, our main time. Okay, we finished our first military ship, the Prime Skirmish. Oh, I'm actually going to read you the names of our military ships. Taurus Assassin, Reckless Master, Reckoning of Taurus. Love those names. And Prime Skirmish. Prime Skirmish has a strength of 18. It has currently no shield, no armor. It's escort of type 2, so you can click on this, and this is the design of the ship. This is how our beautiful escort looks like, and you can design it yourself, but we're not going to do it just yet because that's a lot more advanced and we're just at the beginning. But what's important is that you can see here like you can see, are your weapon. We're using beams, particle beam weapons, and you can see your defense, which is currently no shields per second. And once we finish this, we're going to upgrade it to something that has shield, which again, I'm super stoked for. It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, we finished our research station. So what we can do is we can move our scientists, our characters that we learned about in previous episodes, and we can send them to this research station. So I'm going to take Savodos, our new scientist. I'm going to say, hey, go to Towers Research Center. Actually, she's already there. They're all at Towers Research Center. I want some of you to be at the Towers 5 of Tima. And what we can do is in our research, we can actually set up 2 concurrent projects because we have 2 stations. So we're going to be able to do that. So, and we're getting bonuses on industrial research. So we are working on early energy deflectors. And the next thing it's suggesting for us to do is armor plating, which will allow us to get armor on our ships. So this is actually something that I'm going to do because I think it's a really smart idea. And this will make our ships a little bit stronger. Another thing we have found is at Towers 2, which is over here. This is kind of far away from our main ship. We found some additional resources. So what have we found is Daukan tea and Yapara leaf. Now, as I've said previously, the resources are mostly used to like build things and then for research. In order to start a new research, you sometimes have to pay the cost of the research, which can be some resources. But certain resources have an additional bonus. For example, the Yapara leaves gives me plus 3% colony development, population growth, and plague curing. Yapara leaf is a low-lying shrub that grows deep in the arid wastelands of desert savanna worlds. The leaves are a yellowish-green color. Yapara leaf can withstand intense heat and can survive without water for almost 10 years. The leaves of this plant are packed full of powerful phytonutrients that are very effective at protecting against toxins and pathogens. So if we're gonna get a bunch of this resource, we'll be able to increase like colony development and other things. So also Dokkan tea. So we're gonna build a mining station here definitely. And I'm not gonna bother here because the steel is only 3%, so we don't really care. So one of our construction ships is actually gonna be moving here, and it's going to go and build the station there. So whichever one is going to get retrofitted first. I don't know which one, whether they're retrofitted already. Yeah, so the stellar builder is about to get retrofitted, and then it's going to go to the spaceport. Now we just finished our shield research, so I'm gonna actually pick any kind of a military ship that I have, Towers Assassin, and I'm gonna tell you, hey, go get retrofitted. And once that's get retrofitted, I'm gonna show you how it now has shields. Now you might be thinking, okay, but clicking manually to retrofit every ship is kind of boring, right? Yes. So we can click on our fleet and we can say, hey, I want all of the ships in this fleet to get retrofitted. Another thing you can do is you can click on this top up fleet with ships. Then I've set this up. I said that I want a certain number of escorts, and you can top this up to be set to that particular number. I can't really click it now, so I guess because it's already in queue or something. Sorry for that sound. But it should be, you can, sometimes you can sort of set it up and top it up back to the original number. Yeah, I guess, did I always set it to 4? I thought I set it to 8, but maybe it will get built later. We'll see. I'm a little confused why it's not letting me build more, but whatever, it's fine. We have 53 strength of this. Now, have my ships finished getting retrofitted? Not yet. They're still getting retrofitted. Okay, we're working on armor plating. I want to set up the next thing because we're going very quickly with the research. So there are a couple things we could do. We could go down the research path to go for research lab. This is going to be, this is giving me a new component research lab, so I can take my research station and upgrade it to get a research lab. But what I'm actually going to pick is something a little bit different. I'm going to go down the military path a little bit because, like I said, those pirates are really rough. So I'm actually going to try to get some like better defense. So I am focusing here on early beam weapons, on beam weapons in general, because as you saw when you actually I'm going to show it to you again. If you look at the design, you can see that we're using these particle beam weapons. So I need something that I'm going to be able to upgrade. If I upgrade like the torpedo weapons, I'm not using them, so it's not going to be that good. So instead I'm going to be focusing on we can either pick accurate point defense, which will give me 3 damage, 1.44 damage per second instead of... Hey, this is higher damage. 1.76. So why would we want this? Does it have better range? No. Now I'm a little bit confused. I'm like, wait, what? What is this good for again? Oh, it's an intercept weapon. Okay, so I guess I can intercept enemy. And notice here under the name, and it says static energy used below, it says 6 krypton. So it means it's going to be using krypton. So we need to have a source of krypton. Another thing I can get is a constant beam weapon. This also uses krypton, but this is going to be a stronger beam that we can use. In order to start this research, I need to pay 500 credits and 50 krypton. I guess we'll go down the constant beam weapon path. 24 damage seems like a lot. I like that. Let's try that. Let's try to go down this path, the constant beam weapons. We're gonna pay it. And what this means is that I would love to get a source of krypton, right? Was it called krypton? Just give me a second. Resources, list of all resources. We have no production shortage of any resources, by the way. This is amazing. But the thing that I need, yeah, krypton. So if you know you're gonna need a resource like this, what you can do is you can hover over this and you can check, okay, trace quantities of krypton I find at gas giants or frozen gas giant worlds. So I'm gonna grab one of my explorers, this one that's... You're still getting retrofitted. It's getting retrofitted for the shields. Well, I don't need shields right now. Do I have a gas giant? Yes. But I'm already surveying this one, so I don't need to worry about that. Any other gas giant? There. So we're gonna send it to Tower 6. Hey. Is it not going there? Grasping Ranger. Kind of ignoring me for some reason. Okay. I guess I have to wait till it's finished retrofitting. Yeah, I guess, yeah, you have to wait till it's finished retrofitting probably. So we'll tell it to the other one, the one that's finishing Tower 7. We'll tell that one to go. Where are you down now? No, this is something else. Yeah, okay, we'll wait till it's... Oh, we've discovered... This is not krypton. Alright, Fortunate Rogue Man. I need you to go to the gas giant, because the other one was not listening to me because it's being retrofitted, and hopefully we'll find krypton there, because that's what I need for my new research. Now, have I finished retrofitting any of my cool... Not yet. Still getting retrofitted. Alright, that's fine. Okay, that's cool. Let's wait it out. Fleet. Still getting retrofitted. Hey. Okay, this one is Escort 3 now. So I can click on it and you're gonna be able to see like, hey, first of all, we now have the deflection field generator over here. And then you can go here on the right bottom. You can see I have a shield of 288. And this is where it is. It's kind of here. So this is kind of amazing. So you can see that that's how the upgrades sort of get going with the ships. So we're slowly retrofitting the entire thing, and we have I topped up the ships? Okay, so now I can top up the ships. Maybe it was because we didn't have enough resources. Sometimes when you don't have enough resources like steel or something to finish building it, it won't let you click on the top up thing. So now I was able to do that presumably because I had enough steel and etc. to be able to finish this. And you can see the resources kind of like when you try to build on something, you can click here on the resource shortages and you can see what you don't have enough, and you can try to set up like how much you want to maintain, and the freighters ships are going to carry it from your mining stations to here to try to keep this amount over here. Now, how are we doing? Have we finished surveying this? No, we're still just flying to the gas giant because it's pretty far. So I guess it kind of makes sense that... Now this presumably is actually not like a single asteroid, but you can kind of zoom in on it. This is kind of the place where I find the carcass of the spider-like creature in one of my previous games. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. Hopefully we'll find something like that soon enough. Now let me check my construction ships. They all have stuff to do. We're still building the research station at the Taurus system, and we're building a second mining station at Taurus 2. Now I'm going to jump this back. So now you can see that now we actually have a production shortage because we need Caslon as a use of fuel, and because I built like a bunch of military ships, they obviously all need fuel. So we definitely want something that gives us Caslon. So we need to build a mining station at Tower 7 because we're going to need the fuel like crazy. Otherwise we have to pay a lot of money to get it. So, or we just not have it and then we can't use the fuel and fly around. So another thing to keep in mind. And now the advisor here is asking me to build an exploration ship. I'm actually going to decline that because I think 2 ships for right now are enough. I don't feel like I need any more. So I'm actually going to turn that off. Now obviously this one also needs to be retrofitted because while it has the warpath, it does not have the shield. Now another thing to keep in mind, that's something actually I want to show you. We're going to jump back to our spaceport. So we're going to go back to here. I'm going to double click and then we're going to jump to the spaceport. The spaceport also can get retrofitted. So right now we have a version SSP3 which has the, actually it already has the shield and the armor. So I'm not entirely sure what the upgrade's going to give us, because we don't got those weapons yet, but it's going to give us something. This is something that I wish it would tell you, like what exactly is the difference. So I can set this up to get built, which means obviously that ships can get retrofitted there and etc. for the moment. But I'm not entirely sure like what is going to be the difference, because we already have this armor, which is the plating and the deflection field generator. Maybe I will get extra armor, but we'll try to check it and find out once we finish that upgrade. So we'll be able to see then. Now, let me go back to my scientists to see what they can give me. So we've got Guid Nubri, who is giving me extra armor, shield, and hyperdrive research. Udi, who is giving me better sensor, troop, shields, and all research is amazing because they're sober. They're better at researching because they're sober. I love that. And Xavodos is a good administrator. So actually she makes crash research costs lower. This is fantastic because I can pay to speed up my research because I got a bunch of money, but I can do it for cheap. And now we are still building more. Yeah, we're gonna set this up to 8 and then I might build like a secondary fleet, but we're gonna have to wait for that a little bit. And I'm also gonna set this up to be defending and sort of automatic, because once we get those pirates we're gonna need that. Now we're still surveying Tower 6 because I'm trying to get that Krypton, because that's kind of like the name of the game. We need to get that Krypton so that we can get those beams, because those are really, really important. Another thing you want to keep in mind is as you are sort of exploring these planets, you want to look at colonization suitability. So far everything we found seemed to be 0. What else we explored? Yeah, because there are no new colonies over here. If there was something suitable, you'd see it over here. And this is normal. Sometimes you have like a whole system where there's nothing suitable, but sometimes you might be able to find something that's suitable, which would be really cool because we could get a second colony. And this is going to like inform us what the next research should be. So because I know that I can't colonize yet, I'm going to focus on research when it comes to like the military and making my ship stronger and better. Oh, we found Krypton! We found Krypton! This is exactly what we needed. Just the thing we needed. So we found, actually it's not yet, so sometimes it takes like a moment to update over here in the mining location, so we need to give it a second. But then at Tower 6 it only has 20% abundance, which is not the best, but I'm probably gonna still build it here because I don't is there any other gas giant on our entire thing? What is this? This is just an asteroid. No, this is the only thing that's gonna give us the stuff. Yeah, so I'm just gonna build as soon as I can, as soon as this sort of registers that hey, there's a new mining location. Yeah, here. I'm actually gonna build a mining station here because I really need that krypton. Argon, we don't really care. I mean, it's used in weapons, shielding, and reactor components, so it could be useful. But what we need right now is krypton for the beams. And I'm actually gonna set the exploration ships that I just controlled. I'm gonna set it to actually be automatic. If it's probably gonna keep surveying the system, then might send itself to get retrofitted. But we want to make sure that it just explores wherever it needs to go. Yeah, this is a rocky desert moon. Also, another thing you can do is you can try to sort of hover over these planets and try to find out sort of yourself whether you can guess what potentially, like this swamp planet, this feels like this could be habitable. So what you might want to do is you might want to wait 26 seconds, and then once this sort of explores Towers 1, you might want to send it over here to see whether you can find a habitable planet that you could actually like colonize on, because then you would obviously change the research. Ooh, okay. So this is interesting. We have detected unknown items at Tyros 1. In order to finish this, you actually have to research this more. So normally, if we have, let's look at our home base over here. No, sorry, let's go to my home base. This thing is telling you exploration level 19 completely explored. But if you look at a Tauros, you can see that exploration level 15 unknown items are present at this location. Ooh, okay. So we met the Boscara pirates. It appears that we have company. Unfortunately, this is not the kind of company we want. Hostile space pirates. Where did these pirates come from? Are they a scouting party for a large empire, or are they a lone group? These pirates look well armed and are more technologically advanced than we are. Thus, given our current situation, it would be wise to appease them in any way possible. So what we can do is we can pay them off. Typically the first pirates you get, you should pay them off, but you're gonna get a bunch of other pirates that you're gonna be able to fight, so you don't have to worry about that. But these have strength of 334, which is way over what I have. It would be a shame if any of your ships or bases suffered harm. For the small monthly fee of 125 credits, we can ensure that our trigger-happy ship captains avoid damaging their vessels. We urge you to accept our offer and thus avert any unfortunate accidents. So we're actually going to agree to this because 334 is a lot, but we're going to soon encounter other pirates that we can actually beat up, so we are not going to pay them. Also, I have so much money, I can easily afford this. Excellent. We look forward to your monthly payments. Alright, now, I have no idea what I was talking about before, so we're just gonna drop from that. And we're gonna go back home. I need to go home. Let me go home. And I'm actually gonna build a secondary fleet. So first of all, this fleet is set to defend because we're gonna need them, because as soon as you meet the first set of pirates, you're gonna meet a bunch of other pirates. So I'm gonna build my second fleet, and this is going to be Robertagon, because all that's left after it, it's the Armageddon. It's just as bad as the first time. This one's gonna have 10 ships, which is really expensive, but I think that we can afford it. Actually, that might be too much. Let me just set this to 8 again. Because we do gotta remember that we need to, like, we're gonna be upgrading these guys, and that's gonna cost us a lot. And we're gonna need all that fuel and etc. And as soon as we get our first ship, this is going to be called the thing. Why did it rename itself back? This was supposed to be Robert's. Okay, we'll rename it again. Hopefully it will stay this time. Alright, I finished armor plating, so I would like the Robert military to get retrofitted because we're gonna need that armor plating. Now we're working on our constant beat weapons. Next thing I'm gonna get is the research labs, just so we can get a bit better. This is gonna cost me silicon, steel, and polymer. But we're actually gonna end the episode here. And in the next one, you might want to look at diplomacy, but more importantly, some pirates combat. So click on the right to watch it so that you don't miss out. I'll see you there. Bye bye.